Hey guys, it's Andres with Camp K9 Training. Today, we have Atlas. I just finished his before and after video. More specifically, the before aspect of the video. Brand new, just came into my program. We're gonna work with him for about a week and a half or two. Um, very reactive dog. It's pulling mom. It's barking. I have my three dogs here, and he just wants to go after them. Right? It's actually becoming really hard for me to be able to hold him back. So he came in with a pinch collar. I'm going to show you right off the bat what I do with dogs, how I start training them, specifically speaking with an e-collar, right? His pinch is way too big, and I would have to do very hard corrections on a pinch collar to be able to get his attention. An e-collar, for somebody who doesn't have the strength to pop the leash, or for somebody who just wants better communication with their dog, you can start right off with the e-collar, right? You can have them wear the collar for a couple of days and then start introducing it. Because his reactivity is so bad, this is one of the times where I break my rule, where I have to use the e-collar right off the bat, right? So we're going to put the e-collar on. We're going to turn it up. We're not going to turn it up. We're going to have it high up on the neck, real snug, real tight, so it's not loose, right? Notice even the difference right now between his regular flat buckle collar, where I can put my entire hand through, and versus his blue collar, where I'm barely able to fit two fingers through. So that's what I'm looking for, nice and snug, so we're not slipping out of collars, because they can become very dangerous very quickly. And then just like the other protocols, right? No smelling on the leash, no lunging, no pulling, no barking, no smelling. And then we're gonna start working on that loose leash letter J. We're gonna start finding his working level. So we're gonna start going up here on the remote, see when we get a reaction out of him. And you can see his neck is twitching a little bit, so that's what we're going to start working on. And that's just a 24 out of 100, right? That's barely enough for me to get his attention. That's what I want to work on. I'm going to start teaching him the leash, right? I want to start calming all this energy down, right? Anytime he barks, anytime he pulls, anytime he smells, anytime he lunges, it's going to be a little bit higher of a correction. How much? Enough until it stops, right? But I need to be able to get his loading under control before I teach him anything. So this is something that I do a lot during my private lessons, where I sit here for about 20 to 30 minutes and I talk to clients about training philosophy, about collar placement, about leash management, about learning just to relax, right? If I'm like tense and I'm like talking, I'm like, oh, stop, sit. It does anybody no good. So it's extremely important for everybody to start learning to relax. Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulder. Relax your elbow. Relax your wrist, right? Relax your hand. This does anybody no good, right? And now we're just trying to force the dog to do things, right? This pup is almost 90 pounds. I'm not going to be able to manhandle this guy, right? I just want him to be able for him to start listening to the leash, listening to the remote. And now that we have a nice calm dog after a couple of informationals or corrections, then we can start teaching him things, because now his loading has gone down, right? But this is all I want you guys to do if you guys are ever first introducing an e-collar or introducing a pinch or introducing a leash. It's just let the dog be with you. I haven't moved here for the past couple minutes. We've just stand here, let him start coping with the environment. Not pulling me, not lunging me, not smelling, not barking, not growling, not snapping. Just learn to be. And then once you learn to be, then we can go out and have fun, right? But notice already he stopped pulling with a couple of corrections and he decided to lay down. So then it's your job to start rewarding for this behavior, right? And it doesn't have to be this huge puppy reward. Just reward enough to be able to tell them, hey, you're doing good, right? And then keep progressing. So my biggest rules when we're using correctional tools, leash, pinch, e-collar, is for every correction that we give, we have to give a reward, right? For every good behavior that they give you, you have to give a reward. Extremely important, right? No. Cass. So super important to be able to end with a positive reward, right? All right, guys, we're going to teach Atlas how to walk on a leash with an e-collar, right? It's going to be not so much pulling on the leash, but a lot of clicking, right? So you're going to hear this beep. That beep is every time I'm pressing the button, right? It's going to be at a lower level. It's going to change tones. All that means is just I'm going up higher or lower on the remote, right? We're going to stop the smelling. We're going to stop the barking. We're going to stop the lunging. You're going to notice that what I'm using the remote for is I'm going to put tension on the leash, and it's going to be a follow me, click. The moment he starts following me, I stop clicking. And we're just going to go back and forth until he learns to listen to the leash by me putting a little bit of pressure on here, where he's not locking up and trying to go the other way, right? This is how I teach dogs how to walk on a leash day one. with an e-collar if I need to, right? A pinch collar for him at this point, it's a little too big for him, the one that he came in with, and he would need very harsh corrections. I need to do very, very hard pop. With an e-collar, it makes client's life a lot easier because you're just turning up a dial, right? So I'm going to start, listen to the timing, look at the leash, notice how I'm not even going to say a word. Everything is just going to be leashing and remote communication, right? So notice on that last one where I started turning around and putting pressure on the leash and he already started coming with me, right? So I didn't give him information on the remote. But it's just a game. Hey, come with me. Tap, 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 tap. Hey, we're going this way. Tap, 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 tap. Make this, and I want you to start playing with the leash. I don't want to see any of this and pulling and tugging and all this nonsense, right? Loose leash, guys. Buckle down, relax, take a breather. Don't take it out on your dog. I haven't said a single word to him, okay? It's extremely important to learn to use the tools properly, right? Never try to manhandle a dog, especially a shepherd that's over 90 pounds. It ain't happening, okay? You have a good behavior, start rewarding, okay? We're going to try this again. All I'm looking for is that he stays with me and he starts following the leash, right? This is our tool of communication. I want him to follow the leash instead of fight the leash, right? Because I want him to be able to show him the world. Look, no information, he's already following the leash, right? I'll go back and look at this when I'm editing this, but I guarantee that's less than 90 seconds, okay? So a little bit of distraction, try to go and smell chaos, give them a little information to come back, right? This is day one, lesson one, guys, right? It takes no time to teach a dog how to walk on a leash. Stop the smelling, stop the pulling, stop the lunging, stop the barking, collar high up and snug, right? Loose leash, buckle down, letter J. Nice and relaxed. I want to see that letter J on the leash. If you guys have this, you're going to have a dog that's going to drag you, and within 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds, it's going to be nice, calm, collected next to you with other dogs around. Okay? We're going to try this a couple more times. Once he starts following me on turns, we're just going to go on a walk, and then we're going to go straight. I never go on a straight walk to begin with, because if I'm walking straight, the dog is always going to be in front. If I turn, the dog is going to learn to look up at me and follow the leash, right? Beautiful. That's what I'm looking for. Nice quick turn with me, yes, and reward, right? And rewards can be done as you're walking. Those corrections we're giving for smelling chaos and for smelling the ground, right? Beautiful. That's what I'm looking for. Now you have a dog that's looking up at me for attention, right? When we have dogs that are being mentally worked, you're going to have a better overall calmer state of mind. I have a lot of clients that have these big backyards, farms, acres, and they just let their dogs run out. It's great. If you have a nice big home with a nice big yard, awesome. Good for you. But also work your dog mentally. As canines, they're made to run absolutely all day. And I'm sure you've taken your dogs on hour hikes, 3 hour hikes. You get home, dog takes a 15-minute nap, they wake back up and they're already running the house. And you're like, what in the world? What happened? Right? It's because you didn't work them mentally. Think about the last time you had a conference call, a lecture, you went to college and you got out of class and you were like, oh, I'm done, because mentally you were drained. That's what we want to achieve. If you start having your dog think about what they're doing instead of just all of this mess, it's going to be a different state of mind. So we've worked for, I would probably say 15 minutes, 10 minutes overall between my before and after video, and then teaching him the leash. And then you have a dog that's nice, calm, collected, right? So it doesn't take a lot, but there's a couple pieces that we need to have in place. Loose leash, high collar, snug collar, loading control by stopping smelling and by just letting them cope, right? And introducing balance, which is rewards and corrections. I don't want you smelling. I don't want you pulling. I don't want you doing any of that sort of stuff. And once you stop, then it's my job to reward. That's where the balance aspect comes into play. Balance training, e-collars, pinches, leashes get a bad name because people grab these tools, crank them onto 100, they correct really hard, and they're like, good, you stop barking, you stop pulling, but I'm not going to reward you because that's what you were supposed to do. It doesn't make any sense, guys. If you're going to correct for a behavior, when the behavior stops, make sure you're rewarding, right? If they're giving you a good behavior, make sure you're rewarding, because a lot of people forget once they're doing the right behavior, they're like, oh, good, they're doing good. Motivation has to be physical. Yes, reward. Because good boy doesn't do anything, right? Yes, verbally, reward. Okay? All right, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. We're going to keep working with Atlas, and we're going to get him off leash in the next week and a half. Can't wait to show you the progress.